Welcome to the graduation of the class of 2021. Good evening, families, friends, and guests of the students in Peak to Peak's class of 2021, and thank you for coming to this momentous occasion. I am Kelly Reeser, Executive Director of Education at Peak to Peak. We are thrilled to be able to host an in-person graduation for this fantastic class who certainly deserves to be celebrated. These graduates have shown remarkable flexibility, resiliency, and fortitude in navigating the most unusual year we have ever had. I'm so thankful for them, for supporting each other in the ways that they have. We also thank Boulder High School and numerous BVSD officials for hosting and facilitating this event, and for all that they have done to make this ceremony possible. Before we begin our program this evening, I have a few housekeeping items. Please make sure all electronic devices are turned off or on silent. If you need to use the restroom during or after the ceremony, they are located at the back of the field near the bridge. In the unlikely event of an emergency during the ceremony, please exit through the rear gates. On behalf of our faculty and staff, I am pleased to open this ceremony as we come together to recognize and celebrate the many fine accomplishments of Peak to Peak's 17th graduating class. This year, for the 9th time, we have graduates that have been with us from kindergarten through 12th grade. These students are designated with black stoles on their robes. Congratulations to these students for being the Peak to Peak pioneers, and congratulations to all of our seniors for their truly impressive accomplishments. Thank you, seniors. I'm so proud of all of you. We are also pleased to have with us today two honored guests from the Boulder Valley School District, Rob Anderson, Superintendent, and Kitty Sargent, Board Treasurer. Thank you. We appreciate having them with us this evening. On the stage with me today are members of our fabulous administrative team, Kyle Matthews, high school principal, and Josh Benson, high school assistant principal. Also with us are members of our board of directors, Evelyn Grady, Thomas Willetto, and sitting in the audience, Colleen Elliott. I am pleased to welcome all of our honored guests, including the incredible faculty and staff who were able to be with us here today. Thank you all for being here. Now please rise for the national anthem. Now it is my pleasure to introduce high school principal Kyle Matthews.
Hey, welcome seniors. Hey! Thanks for being here tonight. I'm Kyle Matthews, your high school principal. Seniors, this is the last time I'll be addressing you as students of Peak to Peak. Shortly, you'll become students at a diversity of colleges and universities. you'll become students of the world. Please take a few moments and reflect on the long road that each of you has taken to get to this day. Reflect on the sacrifices that others have made to get you here. Your parents, your guardians, your family, your teachers, your coaches, and each other. They've all worked hard to help you see your dreams come to fruition. Even though you know this is your day, let's take a moment and just celebrate the community of supporters who've gone to such great lengths to help you graduate today. Let's just take about 10 seconds and think. There we go. Thank you, everybody, for being here and getting us to this point. Unprecedented, novel, chaotic, resilient, and unrelenting. You may think I'm talking about reactions to the pandemic, but actually, these are the terms that our seniors think best represent who they are and how they've dealt with their time in high school. None of them expected to be learning from home for a year of their high school career, especially not in the final months leading up to their graduation. And yet, they handled their predicament with calm acceptance. Just keep swimming, they told each other. Adapt, connect, be humble, find ways to stay creative in spite of the isolation. Stay hopeful. Do not be deterred from your dreams. Make the most of the time we have together. And if this week is any symbol of that, you all have more than accomplished that task. And yet these statements have become, from you, a mantra for all of us to follow. These words of encouragement revealed the true character of this class and your raw determination. These messages, while descriptive of you, and you know it's coming, will be part of your legacy and a symbol to hold up for every class that follows in your footsteps. You have modeled positivity in the face of great sacrifice. Even losing homecoming, powder puff, rough and tough, and the rise, you shouldered responsibilities as seniors, and you didn't just survive, you thrived on this roller coaster. It was painful missing each other, and we know it's taken a toll on all of our mental health. There's been a lot of suffering. This wasn't supposed to be how high school turns out. But in these last closing weeks being on campus, that loss was nothing that you couldn't handle. What a statement. You stood up boldly and you said, "We got this." You took on distance learning and you innovated the heck out of everything every day. You took advantage of new college opportunities. You applied and shot for the stars for your dreams. You set a bar on overcoming barriers that no high school student or any of us should ever have to face, and for that I'm ever and will be forever grateful to this class of 2021. Your character is an absolute model for our school, for the nation, and a now more interconnected world. What you may not fully realize is the power of this high school experience and what it's going to do for your future. Because like no other class before them, and likely for years to come, this group has developed a skill set that is truly unprecedented. You can collaborate with each other online and in person. You can pitch presentations to a global audience. You can find ways to serve the community in the midst of crisis. And you solve problems by keeping an open mind and filtering through a myriad of resources to find unique opportunities and approaches that will better sustain our community. And you've developed confidence to take healthy risks without fear of embarrassment or failure. Thanks to Miss Letter, your shortfalls are part of their prominent permanent resumes. This level of honesty in the face of challenge is perhaps the best outcome we could hope for in any of our grads. It's going to carry you through obstacles you're going to face in college and career. It's going to inspire a sense of calm in the storms that you and others will have to endure. And it will help you see the long game and work ahead when the shortest path would seem the most attractive. That's just what we need. We need you. And that's just what we have here today. Life may have unexpectedly created a crisis, but you made yourselves into true champions in response. Thank you, class of 2021. You are the champions we need, one and all. And now please welcome high school Spanish teacher, Senor Joseph Barber, to the stage.
I have to admit, when I first found out that I'd be giving this speech, I was terrified. I paced back and forth in my living room, worrying over the advice that I could give you, how I could possibly sum up in 3 minutes the absolute joy and sorrow that I feel seeing you here in your caps and gowns today. Or, and this is a big one, how can I shout out all of you in 3 minutes? Impossible. I finally decided that the best course of action would be to just speak from the heart, share a story with you all, and hopefully slip in some words of wisdom here and there. The truth is that I owe in large part the fact that I'm standing here today to many of you, but you may not know the whole story. Almost 5 years ago, I walked onto the P2P campus for the very first time. My palms were sweaty, my heart was racing, probably a lot like the first day that you walked onto campus too. I was here to teach a Spanish 35 lesson that I put hours of work and thought into with the hopes of joining this amazing community. Let's just say things didn't go as planned, but I was devastated and hypercritical of myself. But the school saw something in me and invited me back for a second chance. And that's where you come in. 8th grade, Spanish 2, and a lesson on verbs like gustar. Was it a perfect class? No. Did I learn from that first lesson and make a much improved version 2.0? Definitely. But at the end of the day, I really have all of you to thank, and I don't know how I could ever thank you enough. I often look back and think about how much I would have missed if I had given up after that failed lesson. What if I'd listened to that little voice of doubt in the back of my head and retreated instead of learning from my mistakes? And the first thing that always comes to mind is you. It's the plays and the assemblies and concerts and games that we played, the hijinks, I see you over here, concerts, games, dances, student-led clubs and unions, and chats about video games and music and life with all of the tears and laughter that went along with it. The lunches in my classroom, or this year maybe in Google Meet, and the way that you made our school and community a better and safer place by being agents of positive change. In short, I would have missed out on some of the best years of my life because you wouldn't have been in them. Please don't ever let that voice hold you back. You are some of the most passionate, kind, intelligent, fearless people that I have ever met in my life. Please know that you are valued and respected and loved by me and everyone here in attendance tonight. Congratulations to the class of 2021. We'll miss you. Now, please welcome our student speakers, Corinne Walther and Isha Batra, to the stage.
Awesome. That's great.
Good evening, staff, family, friends, and most importantly, my fellow graduates. My name is Corinne Walther, and I've been lucky enough to have attended Peak to Peak since kindergarten. I stand before you today to honor the positivity, determination, and resilience that the class of 2021 has developed over the past 13 years. Our story surely is filled with trials and tribulation, but most of all, some unforgettable first experiences. For class of 2021, it all began in kindergarten one bright August morning in 2008. Many of us hugged our parents' legs, while others were a bit more excited to ask each other what their favorite color was or if they liked Lightning McQueen. Over the early years, we learned important parts of history and practiced traits that would help us in the future. Today, many of us can recite the character trait of the month on command, like, I will give my best in my tasks and relationships. Air high five to anybody who knew that was the excellence trait. In the second grade, we learned about how the state of Colorado had a history of gold mining. At the end of that unit, we struck gold in our sandbox and do-si-doed around the gym. What seemed to be a blink of an eye was 6 years. We were starting our last year of elementary school. We took many special field trips like Young Ameritown. In our town, we had Luke Walsco as our mayor, Sophie Graham as our judge, and plenty of police officers to pull us over if we were walking too fast. But what was so significant about that day was we were imagining what our lives and careers would potentially be like in the future. 8 years later, I'm so proud to say in the audience before me, we have future doctors, lawyers, actors, teachers, and so much more. The middle school years were the special times many of us don't like to mention, like braces, pimples, glasses, all that stuff. But without everything, we wouldn't have the sweet memories to cherish today. Learning about earth science in the 7th grade concluded with some of our classmates sailing around the Puget Sound. As an 8th grade class, we got to compete in the science fair. To end the year, we were the first class to experience a day off because the honorary 8th grade field trip to Elitch's was canceled because of snow in May. The next stop on the Peak to Peak train was to the legendary high school building. The fall of 2017 was here, and there were so many more firsts to experience. We danced the night away at our first homecoming, some of us starred in our first theater or music performance, and others joined their favorite clubs and sports teams. In sophomore year, we got to be part of the first Rise for the Peak. Side note, class of 2021 did take home the victory in Super Smash Bros., Air Band, and a few others. By the middle of junior year, we had no idea the number of firsts would skyrocket. Many of us had just traveled to Italy for art, Cuba for Spanish, and Florida for innovation when the airplanes were grounded and the outside world closed its doors on us. We experienced our first extended spring break to flatten the curve and our first Google Meet classes and finals. But on August 18th, we all logged back into our computers from home. For some of us, this year consisted of taking weights classes from our bedrooms, and for others, architecturally designing buildings from our couches. But as a class, we never looked back. We have never dwelled on the day without a homecoming or a senior powder puff game. We all just kept moving toward the day we'd get to see each other in the hallways again. To the class of 2021, there have been more firsts in the past year than ever before. And I know the hard days paired with them were something we could never be prepared for. But I leave you with one message. If we never had hard days, would we have lived our lives this past year with such a purpose? If we never had lonely days, would we have held those sounds of laughter in the hallways so close to our hearts? And would we cherish every win as sweetly, like being able to be here tonight, moving this tassel from right to left? From one Puma to another, congratulations, class of 2021.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Isha Batra. I'm honored to be a member of the class of 2021 here celebrating with you all. Our family, friends, teachers, and staff, when I thought about what I wanted to express to you all, there's a lot that came to mind, but I knew I wanted to share something that truly came from my heart. A letter to the graduating class of 2021. I'm extremely proud of every single one of you. Many people say that today is the day we start our journey. I disagree. The journey began a long time ago. To say we've been through a lot together is an understatement. Our high school experience began freshman year with the PAC orientation, Chuck the Chicken, and a Wizard of Oz homecoming. We experienced access classes and rowdy soccer games. We were just 14 years old, tightening our seatbelts, getting ready for the ride. Sophomore year, it got real. The classes got more challenging, we had more extracurriculars, and we were more packed, both socially and academically. It was truly a turning point in our high school experience. Junior year, we were finally allowed to go off campus. You know what that means. The Chipotle and Noodles complex was packed. As juniors, we knew every single part of our campus, from the bowls of candy at Miss Benitez's desk to the best parking spots in the student parking lot. We dialed in on our passions and became more involved in clubs and sports. The end of our junior year, the world shut down. We lost opportunities we had been eagerly waiting for the last 4 years. We lost our senior sports seasons and the chances to be captains. We lost our last theater performances and the crowds that came with them, and we lost the chance for human connection. This was not what we had planned, but it was definitely an experience that will affect our lives forever. The founders of the Peak to Peak experiment strived to create an environment that challenged yet respected each individual and prepared students to have an active role in the world, and they succeeded. Peak to Peak students are known for academics excellence, but what stands out to me most is our creativity. Our class is made of nationally renowned innovative teams like Endanger Changers, Pollination Domination, and Spicerettes that created real change in the world. Whether it was the talented work of our thespians, Maselli DeCentes, Eli Zecchi, Adrian Kaplan, and so many others that put on productions we'll never forget. Artists like Owen Hinrichs, Grace Fuller, Sophie Graham, and Logan Norman, who won the National Scholastic Portfolio Awards. Comedians like Luke Wolsko, who made us laugh with video announcements every single week. Or the 4-time state wrestling champion, Vince Cornella. From club presidents, coders, chemists, athletes, to service leaders, to social justice activists, every single one of you, even if you don't see it, we're all creators. I love that at Peak to Peak, we're familiar with every person in our graduating class. Each face we see brings to mind a name and with it a story. 137 of us created a tight-knit family. As much as I've looked forward to this day, I've always disliked endings, so I choose not to look at this as an ending, but a new beginning. We are forever interconnected, and as we embark on our individual paths, we will always be Peak to Peak Pumas. I hope you take your high school experiences with you and you succeed wherever you go and in whatever you do. But more than anything, I hope you find joy and meaning on your journey. You've earned it. Congratulations, class of 2021.
All right, now we get to the good part. On behalf of Boulder Valley School District, I now present the class of 2021. They've met all the educational requirements of Peak to Peak High School to graduate. At this time, I would like to invite the graduates to come forward and receive their diplomas.
Fareed Ahmed, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Ella Abigail Aziki, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Alyssa Corinne Alvarez. Tara Jane Amadon, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Grady K. Anderson. Victoria Ann Anderson, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Andrew Joseph Asper, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Hyder Ali Beg, Peak Scholar. Kritin Rishi Masroor. Isha Batra. Rory Michelle Baxter, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Allison Jean Beasy, Peak Scholar with Distinction. John Hudson Begley, Peak Scholar with Honors. Natalia Beatrice Coons Benitez, Peak Scholar with Honors. Bodie Brennan Bolton. Aiden William Bulliard. Paul West Bradley. Isabella Ava Brockage. Eli Gabriel Brassier. Zoe Annabelle Bryant, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Tansy Kondo Karlik, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Zachary Robert Carncross. Ian Davis Carter. Sophia Abigail Cassini, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Ellie Lynn Kavanaugh. Sasha Parker Selico, Peak Scholar. Jesus Abraham Chavira Hernandez. Jeffrey Chen, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Matthew Chen, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Emma Elizabeth Tuning. Ethan Wayne Clark. Robert Vincenzo Cornella, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Michael Owen Crotty, Peak Scholar with Honors. Joshua Michael Cruz. Gazelle and Angelique Kerwick. Samuel Henry Custard. Alexandra Grace Dalton, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Ander Deonindia. Maselli Antonio Giuseppe Costa de Santis. Sarah Lauren Diaz, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Dominic Vo Do, Peak Scholar. Lily Alexis El Hehiwe. Sorry, excuse me. Kevin Carell Ember, Peak Scholar with Honors. Nolan John Fawcett, Peak Scholar with Honors. Riley John Fedema, Peak Scholar. Allison Flaherty. Gustavo James Fonseca Walker. Nicholas Kyle Fryer. Gibson Avery Friedman, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Grace Jean Fuller, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Colleen Nicole Gilmore. Tanush Yanasegaran, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Patrick Edward Grady, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Sophie Elise Graham, Peak Scholar. Aiden James Graziano. Hayden Alexander Gross. Kokila Keshurala Gunsan Singhe, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Zachary John Michael Hall, Peak Scholar with Distinction. Nolan Gregory Hallisey. Owen Clayton Ham. Genevieve Michelle Hargrove, Peak Scholar with Honors. Ethan Gabriel Harris, Peak Scholar. Owen Michael Hinrichs, Peak Scholar with honors. Brett Gregory Hogan. Jessica Lynn Shaw, Peak Scholar. Marlena Rose Giacometti, Peak Scholar with distinction. Garrett Dean Jackson, Peak Scholar with honors. Kyle Matthew Yeager, Peak Scholar with distinction.
Hillary Valeska Jamie, Peak Scholar with distinction. Rhea Jansen. Ella Marie Junker, Peak Scholar with distinction.
Thank you.
Ruslan Sergeyevich Kaikov. Jessica Kalur, Peak Scholar with distinction. Adrian Shalom Kaplan, Peak Scholar with distinction. Ananya Carr, Peak Scholar with distinction. Sweta Karki, Peak Scholar with distinction. Taya Jean Kendrick, Peak Scholar with distinction. Grace Elizabeth Baker Keogh, Peak Scholar with honors. Malia Amy Keogh, Peak Scholar with distinction. Paris Marie Keel, Peak Scholar with distinction. Sophie Marie Keel, Peak Scholar with distinction. Trey Dean Klinger, Peak Scholar with distinction. Monica Lee Knold. Gayatri Krishnan, Peak Scholar with distinction. Ryan Allen Kirkendall. You're welcome. Senyukta Lamzal, Peak Scholar with distinction. Michael Sijia Liao, Peak Scholar with distinction. Madison Lynn, Peak Scholar with distinction. Kieran McMillan Locke. Cade Dale Magnuson, Peak Scholar. Aditya Malhotra, Peak Scholar with distinction. Nathaniel Tyree Martin. Isabella Sky Martinez. Sean Michael Mather, Peak Scholar with distinction. William Gordon Mitchell, Peak Scholar with distinction. Ethan Hanyung Mun, Peak Scholar with honors. Vikas Muralidharan. Tenzin Nungzal, Peak Scholar with distinction. Danica Jean Nelson, Peak Scholar with distinction. Cameron Michael Nix. Frederick Logan Norman. Trevor O'Dowd. Nicole Raphael Olaya. Andrew Tay Olson April. Bailey Rose Patterson, Peak Scholar with distinction. Court Jens Peterson. Jenna Caroline Plute, Peak Scholar with distinction. Ulysses Portillo Rivera. Jamie Elaine Rader. Kenji Sai Ramcharan Singh. Logan Cruz Rangel. Mason Alexander Rain, Peak Scholar with distinction. Michael Marcellus Ring. Madison Marie Ripito. Aiden Matthew Roof. Benjamin Rosen. Trevor Michael Rosenstein. Julietta Rosen, Peak Scholar with distinction. Mana Masa Saitash, Peak Scholar with distinction. Ayush Shaker, Peak Scholar with distinction. Ellie Wen Shu, Peak Scholar with distinction. Danica Leigh Sims, Peak Scholar with distinction. Kaylin Claire Smith, Peak Scholar with distinction. Zachary Xander Smith, Peak Scholar with distinction. Kaya Ann Stoudemire. Tiffany Lynn Tran, Peak Scholar with honors. Andrew Riley Trathen, Peak Scholar with honors. Hey, you're welcome. Xander Nicholas Vasu. Noah Bowden Weitzer. Corinne Nicole Walther, Peak Scholar with distinction. John Abel West. Ileana Evelyn Wilson, Peak Scholar with distinction. Reese Caden Wentz. Adam James Worthland, Peak Scholar with distinction. Andrew Matthew Wowen, Peak Scholar with distinction. Luke Joseph Wolsko, Peak Scholar with Honors. Emma Colleen Zurich.
And now we need our students to come up and read "Oh, the Places You'll Go."
It is windy up here. Okay. Here, we got it. Woo! Okay. 29 times his first book was rejected from publication from 29 different publishing houses. 29 times he was told he wasn't good enough. 29 times he was told that he would never be a writer. His name was Theodore S. Geisel. You may know him better as Dr. Seuss. He never gave up on his dream, and look where it got him. He currently has sold almost 250 million copies of his works, with translations in 15 different languages. It is truly our honor to be standing here in front of you, continuing a tradition of reading one of his many books, Oh, the Places You'll Go.
Congratulations! Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who will decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets, look them over with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not-so-good street. But on you will go, though the weather be foul. On you will go, though your enemies prowl. On you will go, though the hacken cracks howl. Onward up many a frightening creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. On you will hike, and I know you'll hike far, and face up to your problems, whatever they are. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with care and great tact. And remember that life's a great balancing act. Just never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up your right foot with your left. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So, be your name Buxbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Ali Van Allen O'Shea, you're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way.
29 times he was told he would never be a writer. He had a dream and he believed in himself. And just like Dr. Seuss, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, and you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. Congratulations, class of 2021!
Good job, Bill. This ceremony represents the end of your high school career and the beginning of the rest of your lives, the beginning of new relationships. They say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with just one step. This is your step. Would the class of 2021 please rise? It's okay to cheer for them. It's okay to cheer. Come on now. All right, seniors and soon-to-be alums, go ahead, turn your tassel in official recognition of your graduation. Let them rip. You may throw your hats if you want. Come on.
You know I'm back, like I never left. Another sprint, another step.
Congratulations.
Another day, another breath. Been chasing dreams, but I never slept. I got a new attitude.
Thank you all for coming tonight. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much for all you do.
What can I say? I heard you die twice. Once when they bury you in the grave, and the second time is the last time that somebody mentions your name. So when I leave here on this earth, did I take more than I gave? Did I look out for the people, or did I do it all for fame? Legend is Exodus, searching for euphoria, trudging through the mud to find the present, no ignoring. I got 20,000 deep off in the street like we some warriors. My mama told me never bow your head. Whoa.
I feel glorious, glorious. Got a chance to start again. I was born for this, born for this. It's who I am. I put up again. I made it through the darkest part of the night, and now I see the sunrise. Now I feel glorious, glorious. I feel glorious, glorious.
I'm feeling glorious. The crib looking victorious. Oh yes it is. You know that we've been going it since we hopped out that DeLorean. Yeah, we went on guard. Things are just things. They don't make you who you are. Can't pack up a U-Haul and take it with you when you're gone. We posted on the porch, my family's glasses to the stars. My grandma smiling down on me like, whoop, that boy got bars. Okay, yes I do. I said amen and hallelujah, let me testify to another morning. A morning won't let self get in my way. I got my breath, I got my faith, and I remember why I came.
Feel glorious, glorious. Got a chance to start again. I was born for this, born for this. It's who I am. I put up again. I made it through the darkest